Hey, welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to be going over GrapheneOS, the privacy-based operating system for mobile smart devices. And if you want to see the written version of this video, you can find a link to my website in the video description. Now, GrapheneOS is available on cell phone and tablet devices, but with a catch. In fact, the operating system, I've been using it for several months now, and I'm a huge fan of it. I don't see me going to any other operating system. But it's not perfect. A lot of videos will say it's the ultimate privacy-based operating system. There are some nuances to it. I mean, it's hard to get a perfect operating system that's going to appease to everyone. So I'm going to talk about some of the gotchas in here. They're not really bad, but there are things you should be aware about. The other thing I'm going to be talking about is the requirements. So first and foremost, in order for you to install GrapheneOS, as of today, and for the last few years, it'll only work on Pixel devices from Google. Why is that? It's because it has something to do with them releasing the bootloader information. Basically, I guess in layman's terms, long story short, Google used to release a lot of the source code information regarding the device, so it's really easy for the GrapheneOS team to load the operating system on here, and you get full driver updates. So from a security standpoint, you're secure, and of course, security and privacy are two separate concepts, but they overlap heavily. If you have good security, you tend to have good privacy, and the privacy is based on that. Lately, Google has announced some evil doings, typical of Google, is that they're starting to lock down a lot of the source code for the information about the devices for Pixels. So it's a little bit harder for the GrapheneOS team to start releasing versions of it. However, that change was made recently, but I'm still getting updates. So the GrapheneOS team is still accomplishing what Google doesn't want them to, so that's good news. And there's some other news that I read in an interview recently with a GrapheneOS member team saying that they have officially partnered with a cell phone manufacturer that's not Google. So there's possible there might be GrapheneOS official devices coming out soon, who knows. And the tablets that I mentioned that it supports are obviously Pixel tablets, so you're kind of limited there for now. Okay, so what is the whole thing about this? It's based on Android. It's similar concept of how Android is classified, with Linux distributions. You have different flavors of Linux. It's the same concept. GrapheneOS is kind of like an offshoot of Android. It's based on Android open source project, Android being open source. The entire thing about GrapheneOS is that you don't have to use Google Play services if you don't want to, because it's all spyware. It is, right? So you can use Aurora Store, which is a kind of like a anonymous version of Google Play Store, or you can use something like F-Droid, or you can use the App Store built into GrapheneOS. You have that capability. Now, if you want to see how to get GrapheneOS installed on a Pixel device, I have another video explaining how to get that done. I'll put a link to it in the video description. It's super easy thanks to the way they did it. It's kind of like a web-based installer connected to your computer, and it just does half the stuff automatic for you. It's pretty easy. Okay, so the first thing you see is my home screen. It's super bare bones. In fact, when you boot it up, it's not even this colorful because of the app icons. There's very, very minimal. There's next to no apps available on the device. I mean, that's the entire purpose of it, is that I had to sideload these, or rather, I had to get these from the Aurora Store, which is this one here, which is the anonymous version of Google Play, as well as F-Droid. So you'll notice that I have very minimal apps because here's the thing, the more apps you have, the more likely to be tracked by the app provider and Google. The other thing is that a lot of these services require Google Play services, and Google Play services is spyware. It's tracking your information and data. Not only that, it's kind of nice to have a minimalistic approach because I'm less likely to use my cell phone. Like when I want to access something like Uber Eats, there's no app here like I used to have on my Galaxy device. I use the website because they can't track me. So how do you get services to run that need Google Play services? I'll explain that very shortly. There is a workaround to it. But the entire idea is that there's no Google services whatsoever. There's no YouTube app. There's no Google Maps. You can get this done. There's workarounds to it, but out of the box, it just doesn't apply. Some apps act a little funky. Like for example, I have Ring for my video doorbell. Is that when I open it up, it quickly flashes you're missing Google Play services, might not operate properly. It operates just fine. There's no issues whatsoever. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The basic camera app that comes with GrapheneOS is not that good. This is the first big limitation. The first big limitation here is that I noticed that the video recording is only at 30 frames per second, whereas I'm using the Google Pixel 8 Pro. It can record in 60 frames per second. So I had to get a third-party app called Open Camera. I believe it's open source. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the objective of this app is that it's privacy-based. It's not using Google Play services. A lot of customization. You can ignore half of it. I do, to be honest. And it records in 60 frames per second. You can adjust these settings there. So that's one of the nuances I had to get around. Another nuance is that I don't use Google Maps primarily. I try to avoid it and use Magic Earth. It's not open source, but it's heavily privacy based. For example, it doesn't even ask for your Google account and ID. Google Maps does that. It mandates it when you log in with your Google device on Android. The problem here that I noticed on Magic Earth and Google Maps on my other profile, which I'll explain shortly, it didn't know where I was. This is another caveat that I had to learn the hard way with GrapheneOS. How did I fix it? There was no documentation online. This is the most annoying part, is that GrapheneOS didn't have documentation on this. I had to experiment and find it myself just because I'm tech savvy. If I wasn't tech savvy, I would have been messed up. So how did I fix this? So I went to the main system settings menu, and you just go and search for GPS at the top. After that, you click on location, and then you'll notice some stuff at the bottom here, secure user plane location, and tap that. This was off by default, and I don't want to use standard server. I'd rather use GrapheneOS proxy because I think it's masking a lot of my data. So I had to turn on GrapheneOS instead of off. Same with predicted satellite data services. This was set to off. I had to turn it to GrapheneOS server. So once I did that, Magic Earth and Google Maps on my other profile worked phenomenal. There's zero issues. It started working perfectly with navigation and what have you. Another caveat here is that you have multiple profiles, which I'll explain the caveat shortly. The entire purpose is that, when you have multiple apps, they can kind of scan and see what other apps you have installed. So for example, if you have a banking app, it can scan your phone and see what other banking apps you have. That's the whole reason you have profiles. Your main profile should be as minimalistic as possible and keep it very secure. Like only the necessities, like open camera for camera usage. I use Signal for video calls and texting because SMS and regular phone calls are not encrypted. Your telco company, like your cell phone provider, can sell your data. It's been very common globally. So I use Signal. Now, there are sometimes apps that I want to use, like Google Maps. Let's say I'm on in my newer car, my Highlander. It supports Android Auto. And sometimes you just want to use it because if you're going on a long trip, Magic Earth is great, but not having the screen navigation, all that set up, I need Android Auto connected, which means I need Google Play services, but I don't want that on my main profile. So to get profile set up is from the top, the notifications, you swipe it down all the way, and it's like a little red icon. It's the default. You tap on that, and here you can have profiles. So my secondary profile, if I were to tap it, will go to my secondary profile. You don't have to do this, but this is how I set it up. My secondary profile has all the apps that use the Google Play services, but it does not have Google apps themselves. So for example, I think in my second profile, I have Microsoft Teams. It will not open without Google Play services, but it's not a Google app. So I have that in there. I have other services, like I have the actual Uber app I was talking about, Uber Eats. It's installed in my second profile in case I ever need it. So you kind of get the idea. And it's locked down in there. And when that profile is turned off, it turns off everything in there. They cannot track me. You notice that I have Google and Smart Home as my last profile because there I have Google Play services and Google Apps and Smart Home apps because they're constantly tracking everything I do. That is the ultimate unprivate apps, I guess you can say. The most privacy invading apps are my third profile. But when that profile is on, of course, it can track whatever, except for GPS. GrapheneOS blocks GPS tracking unless I open Google Maps, which is pretty neat. Unlike your smart device, if you turn off GPS, it's still tracking everything you're doing. So just keep that in mind. So when I'm in that profile, all the privacy-based stuff just kind of goes out the window. Google's tracking everything. But when I turn off that profile, I shut it down. Imagine it as a virtual container. All the apps and everything in there shut off. The easiest way to explain it is that each profile is like having your own separate phone. Each profile is like its own phone container, which is pretty neat. So, and if you have apps installed in your primary profile, you can sync apps. So if I go to manage users, and then you can see there's a button to switch user profiles, which I enabled, and you can modify and switch. So for example, if I go to secondary, I can switch to secondary from here. I can allow running in the background, which I don't want because that defeats the whole purpose of privacy-based stuff. Here's one catch, is that I noticed the hard way. I learned this the hard way, is that when you're in your other profile, other than your main one, you cannot receive notifications for calls and texts, okay? You can have mobile data on, that's fine, but you will not receive call and text. It gets blocked unless you go back to your main profile. That could be bad, especially in emergencies. So you want to make sure turn on phone calls and SMSs on. The only caveat with this is that when you turn that on, any services from like Google, for example, if you have something like Gemini, for example, Gemini scans everything on your phone. I don't have it installed in any profile, but if you did, it would scan all the text coming in because it has access to your calls and texts then. But if you don't have this on, you won't receive calls and texts. So you really need to kind of figure out where the border for you lies with having that feature on or off. I have it on, but I don't have super privacy invasion apps like AI apps. I have no AI apps on any of my profiles. Apps installed and updates, you can have that enabled if you want to or not. Install available apps. So what it'll basically do is list all the apps on my main profile, and if I just toggle on, it'll automatically pre-install it on the next profile. I don't have to go to Aurora Store or Google Play and download it all over again. And of course, you can delete the user and all the profile and all the data associated with it. So there's another thing. All the data on my camera reel, for example, or any files, even my MP3 music on my main profile is not available on any other profile. That's good and bad. It's good because Google services on my third profile can't scan and see what MP3 music I have, and it can't see the pictures and videos of my children, especially if you want to install Gemini, which, screen records and will upload all that data of my kids. That's great. It's bad because when I plug in Android Auto, my third profile, my music's not there. So I have to copy all the music from my first profile connected to my computer, load my third profile, which is a Google Play one, and Android Auto, and then load the music again. That's annoying, right? Because it's extra work and steps, but it also doubles the space used. So if my MP3 music is 5 gigs on the first profile, I have to copy it over to the third profile, which is another 5 gigs. So it's doubled for the same songs, is now 10 gigs. So that's another good and bad thing to keep in mind. Another thing that I keep active and you want to make sure of, I personally recommend, is you can have a guest profile. That means they have access to next to nothing. And when they exit the profile, everything gets deleted and wiped off the face of the planet. On your regular user profiles, that doesn't happen. You have to specifically go in here and say, I want to delete the user. With guest profiles, the second someone stops using it and they exit it, it wipes all the data immediately. So it's good if you want to hand over your phone to someone without them accessing your sensitive data. You can allow the guest to make phone calls or not, and send notifications to current user. I have this one on. So for example, if someone messages me on Signal, which is on my main profile, but I'm using my second profile, it'll allow notifications to pop up saying, hey, you just received this Signal notification on your first profile. It won't show the notification in the preview of the message. It won't do that. It'll just tell you that you got something in your main profile. That lets me know that, hey, I should switch to my main profile and see what's going on in case there's an emergency, someone contacting me. Okay, so I apologize about the camera angle, but I want to show you how profiles work, and I can't do a screen recording. So I'm going to tap on the little icon here, and I'm going to switch to my secondary. So I'm just going to simply tap on it. And one of the things you can do with your profiles, even your main profile, is scramble the lock screen. So for example, if my passcode is 2400, well, if someone's like shoulder surfing, which they're looking over your shoulder, every time you type in 2400, they'll know your PIN code. But the fact that it scrambles it every time, so if I were to turn off the screen, notice zeros here in the corner. If I do it again, zeros move to the second spot. It makes it very difficult for anyone to predict what number you're actually pressing on because it's scrambled. They won't know the pattern. So this is what it looks like when I'm loading up a new profile, I'm logging into it. In my experience, it takes about 15 seconds for everything to kind of sync up. I also have Proton VPN installed on every profile, and I noticed that once that VPN is connected, then it's pretty much done. Everything else is kind of, the dust is settled and it's good to go. And if I were to swipe up, you'll notice that I have a lot more apps here because these apps require Google Play services, which is installed on this profile, and some of these are kind of privacy invading, like food tracking apps like Uber and what have you. Now, the thing about GrapheneOS is that Google Play services are sandboxed. They're not exactly like on traditionally. Okay, so to load Google Play services, it's pretty cool what they've done here with the GrapheneOS team. Is if I go down to my notifications, I'm still in my second profile I'm showing to you. And if I were to look at this particular one, you'll notice that it says action required Google Play Store, sandbox Google Play is running. What they've done is they've created like a very compressed and condensed version of Google Play services. So it has just enough permissions to allow certain apps to run, but without tracking everything possible from your data. And no matter which profile you go to, this service, if you want to activate it, you have to activate it. You go to the App Store. The App Store, this is the one built in with GrapheneOS. This is GrapheneOS's official App Store. And you'll notice if you scroll down, you'll have one called the Android Auto, Google Play Store, and Google Play Services. So in order to make everything kind of work from Google, you have to have Google Play Services first and foremost before anything else. Then you can activate Google Play Store and Android Auto secondary if you want to. So that is how you get that up and running. Okay, so I'm going to switch over and show you what it's like to close out a profile, and it shuts down all the apps on my secondary profile. But you also notice at the top here, I have a notification from Signal on my primary profile. This is kind of what I was telling you, that it alerts you. It doesn't show you the preview for privacy reasons, but at least you get that idea. So I'm in my secondary profile that has all my junk apps. I'm gonna scroll down from the top twice, and here there's like a power icon. If I tap that, there's a whole bunch of options. I can restart the device, power it off, but there's a special one that only shows up while you're not in the main profile. That's end session. This is basically shutting down the secondary profile and all the apps associated with it. So all that tracking it might have, if you were to install Google Maps and this and this and that, it cannot track you because it's literally being shut down. That's what I mean. It's like each profile is like having your own secondary or third or fourth, or it depends on how many profiles. I think you can go like 20 or something crazy. The privacy is there. It's like having virtual phones within a single physical phone. And as you'll notice, I didn't, make it all roses and rainbows like a lot of other videos do. They make it perfect. It's not. It has some nuances. There are some trade-offs there. So for example, I set up my fingerprint lock screen on every single profile, but I had to do it 3 times because it's like setting up 3 different phones because they're virtual profiles and virtual phones kind of. So that's what I mean. Is it a pain? A little bit, yeah, at the beginning, but honestly, you get used to it, and I have peace of mind on not being tracked like crazy. So that's pretty much it. Again, if you want to know how to install GrapheneOS, I have a whole step-by-step video. Link will be in the description when it's live, which will be in about a week or so from when I post this video you're watching. Hit the like button, it does help. Subscribe, it literally helps my channel grow. And also, I'm off work today, it's a vacation day, so I'm recording this even though I'm a full-time employee on my own private time, which I should be relaxing. So if you want to show some appreciation, you can hit that super thanks button, it's that heart icon just below the video, but you're not obligated to, and thanks for watching.